Well, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Leonie and I'm the Dean of Trinity Residential College, and I'm speaking to you today from the beautiful land of the Wurundjeri people. And I pay my respects to elders past and present, and also to those of Indigenous heritage who join us today. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to give you a little bit of housekeeping. The session is being recorded. We'd love to see your faces, so feel free to have your cameras on if you're comfortable, but we also understand that because it's being recorded, you may prefer to stay private. We also have a chat function. Now, with any luck, we'll have answered all of your questions by the end of this presentation. But if you have a question, feel free to pop it in the chat function, public or private, it's up to you. And hopefully we'll be able to get to it as we move through. We are actually about to start a tour of what we call our home. Trinity is a beautiful place to live. I'm going to introduce you to our tour guides and to my colleague Chris, who are going to be doing in tour across the college for you. Just before we get started with that, I really would love to see you in person. We'd all love to be able to welcome you here. So if at any time before the end of October you have a chance, a window of opportunity as we come out of any of these numbers of lockdowns around the country, feel free to make an in-person tour. We'd be delighted to show you this beautiful place. But also we have a fantastic series of videos showcased on our website. It shows lots of the life at Trinity. So please go and have a look at those. And also follow us on the social media, your Instagram. We put lots of things up there. The students put lots of postings up there that give you a really good flavour of what goes on in this community of Trinity. Now I'm going to hand over to Chris, my colleague, and to Emilia, who is an interstate second year design student, and Lachlan, who's also a second year student doing science. And they're going to take you around the campus, and we'll be asking those two students, Chris will be asking those students questions as they move around our beautiful campus. Over to you, Chris.
Thank you so much, Leonie. And that's right, we've got our first student today, which is Emilia, and Emilia is going to start by explaining about her room. She's going to tell us about her corridor and what corridor culture is, and she's going to explain what a family unit is at this time in the restrictions that we have. So welcome, Emilia.
Hey guys, I am in my room right now. I'm really lucky. I was able to get one of the bigger rooms, and the way that worked is there's a room point system at Trinity, and there are different things that contribute to that room point system. Some of that being your academics at uni, as well as your involvement in college. So that might be completing all your bursaries, taking part in college sport, and other little activities like that. Just a little move around my room. I have some lovely big windows where if they go through, I have a lovely view of the bull. And then, yeah, everyone will have a single bed in their room, which is plenty. And then we also have like a little mini fridge down there, which is really helpful to be able to store like your little snacks and stuff like that. And yeah, a little explanation about how like your room and your corridor works is that Trinity sees your corridor as your family unit, and that's because we share things like bathrooms and stuff. I'll quickly walk down my corridor so you can have a look what that looks like. This is my corridor. There will be about 14 people on this corridor, and then this is one of our shared facilities, so bathroom and showers. And yeah, so the way that Trinity has gone about this is they've been breaking down things into the smallest unit that they can, which is your corridor, because we have those shared facilities. So in with this time with all these restrictions, that's seen as your family unit, which is why I'm not wearing a mask right now, because everyone on my corridor is seen as my family, which is really wonderful and lucky because, you know, my definition of a family is other people who are all the same age as me and have similar interests and stuff.
Wonderful, thanks for that incredible insight. Oh, who do we have there?
That's Vita, she's just doing some work in her room.
Hi, Vita. Thanks so much, Emilia. We're going to come back to you and you're going to explain a different part of our campus, but let's head over to Lachlan now. Lachlan is joining us from somewhere special. Lachlan, where are you?
Hi guys, I'm joining you from the dining hall. So, this shows up okay. This is the lovely dining hall at Trinity, where we have all of our lovely formal meals. So Monday through Thursday, you have a formal dinner. It's served to you by our bursary students. So doing a shift in the kitchen, and you sit down, with lots and lots of people. It's about 20 people per table. You chat to friends, you meet people, you mingle. It's really, really great sort of, I guess, melting pot of the culture here at Trinity. And you have a lovely, lovely dinner. And it's just an awesome space. It's nice and open, nice and big. Not being used at the moment because of COVID, but when it's all sort of running usually, it's a fantastic place to come and, have a chat and meet up with friends.
How did you feel the first time you went to formal hall?
It was a bit nerve-wracking just because everyone's sort of crammed in together. Like you're sort of encouraged not to sit with your sort of, I guess, normal friend group, to try and sort of mix around and meet new people. So that was a little bit strange for me. But after one or two of them, like it's such an exciting time of the week. I really enjoy coming to dinner here, so I love it. It's awesome.
Fantastic. And do we have any other events that maybe take place in the dining hall?
Yeah, so there's talks from companies and fundraising organizations. So oftentimes alumni and sort of organizations linked with Trinity come and have a chat here. Fundraising nights, there was a night where we raised funds for 300 blankets. That's a sort of charity that we've been working with. There's bingo nights, there's all sorts of sort of club and society sort of nights together. It's just a big sort of event environment, and it's awesome here.
Incredible. Thanks, Lachlan. We'll be seeing you very shortly. I'm going to head back to Emilia. So Emilia, where are you right now?
I am on our wonderful Bulpadoc, and the sky has put on some blue sky for us, which is very nice. I'll give you a little 360 tour. This is like a big oval that's at the heart of the college. And it's really wonderful the way that it's set out. All the different buildings look onto this area. So it is like a central and a communal space where everyone comes to mingle and hang out. And we've been very lucky with some nice weather recently. People have been sitting outside on picnic blankets, doing their readings or having a meal and sharing it with other people. And I know that in the summer, a lot of people bring their dinner outside and sit together all outside that way. And we also have, lots of events that we have on the Bull as well. We were able to have our commencement dinner at the beginning of the year on the Bull. Oh, there we go. There's just Lockie walking over there. That was all set up around here. It was really, really wonderful. We were able to have all these massive tables with everyone sitting outside and these beautiful fairy lights. We also had Technic last year, which was like a music event where everyone was sitting on the Bull, and we had a bit of a stage set up with our decks and stuff. And then I know that after we had rowing shums, and that was set up over here with a big massive tent filled with music and dancing and all that.
Thanks so much. We would love to have a quick tour of the building, like tour of each building. So could you explain each one?
Yeah, sure. I'll start out over here. This is Cowan. That was the building I was just in before. That's where my room is. And this is just filled with residential rooms. Then if we go over here, this is Ben. That's predominantly like a third years building with lots of third years, but sometimes there are first years and other people there. They're really lucky. They have a wonderful balcony, which would be very nice, like now out in the sunshine. And then we have Gourlay hidden around in the corner that has a couple of facilities, as like there's a basement and some other things like that that has a big TV, a little kitchenette in there. And then we have the Biggs Clark's building, which is where I was last year. It has a lot of the fresher rooms in there. And then there's also a billiards room as well as a computer room, so some other communal spaces. And then we have the Bishop's building, which is our old Wonderfield building. It has the dining hall, our kitchen in there, as well as there are a few residential rooms. And up in the tower, that's the senior students room. And then we have our LEPA building where some of the admin offices are. Then we have Jeopardy, another residential building. And then we have Gateway over there where Lockie will tell you about that in a bit more detail. Oh, and how could I forget our wonderful chapel? Trinity has like a world-renowned choir that practices in there. And we're also lucky enough to have some services there throughout the week.
Thanks so much. I think you would agree that the Bull is really the heart of Trinity College. Along with the dining hall and the Bull, it's a central place where people meet and wonderful environment. Thanks so much, Emilia. We're going to come back to you shortly.
I think you've just gone on mute for a sec, Chris.
Forgive me, sorry. Lockie, where are you at the moment?
I'm currently in our brand new Gateway building. So this was sort of opened a couple of years ago. This is where our foundational studies students come to finish off their high schooling and transition to uni. So international students who sort of aren't doing Australian accredited sort of high school courses, they come here, do their last couple of years of school, and then through Trinity, through a pathway to uni, go to Uni Melbourne, study their courses. So nice brand new building.
And how do the residential college students use this building?
So yeah, this building is used for, I'm gonna come over here, if you can see through there, it's a sort of library style sort of big study space. That's one of our sort of larger communal study spaces. And then upstairs, there's I think 10, 11 sort of individual sort of smaller classroom size spaces per floor. It's a very, very new, very modern area. Lots and lots of nice quiet places to come and chill out with friends and study. It's really, really good here.
Perfect. I'd like you to talk a little bit about and tell the viewers, our academic support services are incredible. So we have both, academic advisors, but we also have the academic tutorial service. How do you benefit from that? How do you use it?
Yeah, so Tutes are run by people who have gone through Trinity or are connected to Trinity, no longer living here anymore, but have done well in their subjects. And then you sign up for your subjects. It's run once a week. It's sort of an hour, hour and a half each session. And it just sort of helps you with your uni courses and gives you a unique perspective as to, little tips and tricks on exams or, course content, all the sort of useful stuff that, you wouldn't get, I guess, otherwise. I do 3 of mine each week. It's very, very useful.
Super. And another question that people often ask is, how would we support you in terms of like the well-being, the pastoral care, the social events, the student support? What do we have at college to do that?
Yeah, so college support is very much a layered approach. So on your corridor, like what Em was before, you have your SC and your RA. So SC is your student coordinator. It's like your, I guess, mum or dad of your corridor. They're the student sort of led leaders. And they sort of take care of your interpersonal sort of issues, any concerns that you have sort of day-to-day sort of like things. Your RA is your main connection between the corridor, sort of the student group, and admin. So admin is the, I guess, the people sort of making decisions, working with the TCAC, and we'll talk about that in a second. So your RAs are sort of an external point of view and external help to sort of help you sort of elevate issues, elevate concerns if need be. So you've got support all around you on your corridor, between corridors as well. If you have a friend that lives in a different building, they're all for you to use as well. It's really, really accessible and really, really amazing to use here.
Thanks so much, Lachlan. Going to head back to Emilia, who is now in a new place. Emilia, whereabouts are you?
Hey guys, I am in our new JCR. I'm just in the outside area a bit because there are some people studying just inside and I didn't want to disturb them. But yeah, this is our new junior common room. This is a place where everyone at the college is able to mingle and mix, and sometimes we use this outdoor space on weekends to have a few drinks with friends, or like we are doing a little bit of studying with these guys, which is really nice. And yeah, sometimes the different clubs and societies use these spaces, which is really fun. Sometimes we have watched some movies in here, and yeah, a little spiel about the clubs and societies. Trinity has lots and lots to offer, which is really lovely. We have things like a wine cellar society, billiard society, beer society, film society, art society, music society. So lots of different clubs and things that everyone can get involved in. And they have events throughout the year. Like I know the Wine Cellars Society was able to go on a wine tour when restrictions were permitting. And I'm a part of the Film Society, and we've been running little film reviews online. But when we're out of restrictions, we would do things like a special movie premiere night at a cinema and things like that.
Perfect, thanks. And I think you've covered a really wide range of clubs and societies and committees. There are also kind of, the well-being, the Gender and Sexuality Alliance. So really, whatever what your interests are, what your passions are, you can get involved in something. And this leads me on to my question about leadership. How does Trinity support you in your endeavours to be the next leader or be involved in something?
I think one of the advantages of being at a college, and especially Trinity, like a larger college, there are these opportunities and this environment where you're with lots of people, so you can stand up and take that leadership position if you want to. I know that the clubs and societies have an internal kind of structure of like a president, a treasurer, a secretary, and things like that. So if you wish to step up and have that leadership role, you can do that through the clubs and societies. On top of that, there are some representative roles at the college. For example, the senior student and the TCAC, which is like our student union, where again, if you want to step up and have that leadership position, there's that opportunity. And I do want to note quickly, if you haven't heard a club or society that you're like, damn, I really want there to be a drama society or something like that, we're more than welcome for you to bring your interest to Trinity with you, and again, take that initiative and start that club in the first place.
Thank you so much. We do actually have a drama society, so we would, and we have the college play that we can get involved in as well. So if you want to do crochet or something creative, you can definitely be part of that. A question has just come through actually, and this might be a good one for you to answer. Places to do music, are there any rooms to do music? And I suppose, what's the art and design space, because you're a design student, so what spaces do we have for that?
I'll answer the music question first. In Gateway, which you can kind of see, sorry, not Gateway, Project 100 Dorothy building, that you can see behind you, there's actually a music room in the bottom of that that's soundproof, that has a piano and other things in it that you can use. And as well as Gateway, the building that Lockie's just in at the moment, the basement of that has lots of different music rooms, including a room that has like a drum kit and stuff, where I know one of the boys in my corridor goes there quite often to practice playing the drums. Being a design student, I do lots of crafty things. Sometimes I do some of that stuff in my room. If not, I'll go to maybe the Gateway building or some of the other communal study areas. Like I'm going to go to the study commons just in a sec, and I can bring my stuff there and use all that. And there's also a room in Gateway that has sinks and other things. So if I need to do some painting, that's really helpful, as well as there's a little art studio in the bottom of Project 100.
Perfect, thanks so much. I'm going to bring Lachie onto the screen so that we can answer some questions for both of you. Lachie, I might have to just unmute you for 1 second. Forgive me, Lachie. Lachie, where are you at the moment?
So I'm still in Gateway in the sort of foundation sort of study building. This is one of our big sort of lecture halls. It's a nice big lecture theatre, very similar to ones that you'll see at University of Melbourne. This is where a lot of big sort of, I guess, more formal talks are held, lots of O-week chats are held to sort of educate you on things that are sort of useful to you moving forward as Trinitarians. Also, our foundational students use this sometimes for lecture style lessons.
Perfect, thanks.
Really nice big formal area.
Incredible, yeah. So these lecture halls are available for events that the residential college students would take part in. For example, the admissions ceremony when you first arrive at Trinity. So let's talk about that, guys. Your first week at Trinity, Emilia, how did you settle in? What did you feel like? Interstate student, tell us your experience.
Yeah, so I will say, being an interstate student and not having too many friends already in Melbourne, it was a daunting experience. But we have wonderful O-Week, which is to combat all those issues. O-Week is jam-packed, full of activities, but it is nice to know that if you're tired and if you wish to have a nap, you can also do that. But yeah, it was a really great experience to meet everyone and become familiar with not only the students around you, but the kind of members like Leonie and Chris, who are within the Trin community, as well as the senior student and the TCAC, who's like our student union. And yeah, lots of different activities, learning about Trinity culture and Trinity's history, which is really enriching. And I know that there was things like a costume party where you had a partner, and one of my friends, close friends today, we're actually catching up for coffee tomorrow. I met her through that. So it's a great way to forge connections with other people.
Thanks so much. There's a question that's come in the chat, Lachie, and it's around the culture of the college. And this is a really kind of common question that we get, and it's, how does Trinity differentiate itself in terms of what it stands for and the culture that we have? We talk a lot about, the inclusivity, the broad range of students, the diversity of students. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience of being a Trinitarian?
Sure, yeah. So I'm quite similar to Em, actually. I was interstate. We actually met on an interstate open day a couple of years back. And I sort of came into this very, very blind. I'd never actually heard of a college up until halfway through year 11. So I had no idea what to expect. It was very sort of, I guess, unknown to me. But as Em said, O-Week is crazy. You're just constantly buzzing around, meeting new people. It's crazy. In terms of the culture here, I wouldn't say there's one set culture. It really depends on, I guess, what you want to get out of Trinity and what you want to sort of provide to the existing culture that's there. It's very inclusive. We're very much sort of a family unit. Everyone's very, very friendly. There's like, if you talk to anyone at the college, and will back me up here, there's no like segregation of friend groups. Everyone sort of gets together. The dining hall is, I guess, the key of that, as we saw before. But it's just a fantastic place to come if you're unsure about, worried about sort of moving to uni, moving away from home potentially. It's a very, very welcoming environment. I've loved it here. It's fantastic.
Incredible. Emilia, how do you think you have developed as a person being part of Trinity and being part of our community?
I know for myself and moving to a new state to study, it can be a bit daunting from that transition between living at home and living by yourself. So I think staying at a college is really helpful for that. But on top of that, it's not just a default for not being able to live by yourself. It's an incredible community to be able to be a part of. And there's so many opportunities that you wouldn't get otherwise. And it's such an enriching way to live. I think Lachlan mentioned it before, but things like the formal halls, we might have special speakers that come in and chat to you, as well as the amazing academic program that's available that is there to help you succeed in any way that you want. There are a lot of friends and people that I would have never met if I hadn't come to college. So I'm very grateful to be here. And something else is Trinity prides itself on having a really diverse community. So we don't just want to have one type of person with one interest. We really want to have people who are studying many different things, come from many different backgrounds. And we really welcome that and want our diversity to only grow, if anything.
Thanks so much. And that brings us perfectly on to the next part, which is talking about our financial aid, financial support, and making us a really incredibly diverse place. And Lockie, 1 in 3 of our students receives financial aid in terms of scholarships or financial support. So how do you think, if a person is in the chat now, maybe from a single parent family or from, a socioeconomically disadvantaged family, what would be your advice to these people?
Yeah, so from my experience in the sort of financial aid, definitely the application process, sometimes people get a little bit sort of nervous and concerned about, oh, this sounds like a job interview. I've got to answer these questions perfectly. I've got to start practicing, revising all my big ideas to sort of fit a persona. It's really not that. As I said, I came into this very, very blind, and I was in need of financial aid. Like, there was no way I would have, been able to relocate like this. And I found that through this, interview process, it's really just a get to know you session. In order to, I guess, fit in to this, very, very sort of family-based and very vibrant environment, you have to be able to express yourself as best as possible and be willing to learn new things, meet new people. And the college wants to see that from you. They don't want to see a set person who's just like purely science-driven, a set person who just writes essays until the cows come home. They want to see someone who's well-rounded, someone who wants to succeed at this place, and someone that, I guess, also has an idea of what they want to, I guess, use Trinity for. What can you get out of Trinity? What can you give back to Trinity? So there's no, I guess, set correct answers or set way to go about an interview like that.
Wonderful, thank you. Leonie, maybe you can just explain the procedure for the scholarship and for those people that may be looking for some financial aid.
Absolutely, and I think Emilia and Lockie have really nailed what Trinity is about. It's about diversity, so we recognise that means some people have been able to come because they are able to have support from their parents. Other people will have a variety of backgrounds where they will need some support. Now, Trinity College has a generous scholarship program, and we look at need. It's needs-based. So please go and have a look at the application. As Lockie said, don't be daunted by it, and always seek advice if you're not too sure about anything. But we offer full scholarships all the way through to partial scholarships. The majority of our students actually have a part-time job. And in fact, Lachie was off to his part-time job before he was here today. So thank you, Lachie. Majority of people do have a part-time job to help support themselves here. And as Chris said, over a third of our people get support in some way or another with scholarships. And of course, we actually, the administrative team that Lachie and Emilia keep referring to us, also help support and connect you to where jobs can be found. So really, respect is the key thing that we are looking at Trinity. I can see a question there about what distinguishes us, and colleges are fantastic. Every one of them is, but I would say the difference is the way we deal with every one of our very diverse young people, and the expectation is always about respect for each other. Chris, I think we're nearly at the end, and I can't see.
There are a few more questions.
I can see how many people all at once. Trinity is 370 students, and we are always full. But there is always fantastic room at other great colleges if you've applied and we haven't been able to accommodate you. I promise you we actually help support you around the crescent. So please do apply. Apply for a college, apply for Trinity. We also, what percentage?
Yeah,
so Trinity is 18 to 22. We are an undergraduate college. We go first to third year, and we do have high retention rates because our college really offers a fabulous program that grows from first to third. What else have we got there, Chris, before we have this?
Do we have live on-site staff?
Oh, absolutely. So I live on site, Chris lives on site, the Deputy Dean Anthony lives on site, and Lachie or Emilia also referred to our RAs, our resident advisors. They are all adults that live within the corridor and within the population just to help support. We're a support team here. Everybody who lives at Trinity is an adult, but there is a wellbeing support team, there's the academic support team, and there are the residential staff that are on site to help when it is needed.
Could you talk to us about the spread of students from, international, interstate, Melbourne metropolitan, rural, regional?
It's very broad. We have people from absolutely everywhere. Even in this current COVID pandemic, we have a significant international population of people who have actually remained with us. They started with us at the beginning of it and they're still with us. But we have around about 20% international students. We aim for about 20-25% across Australia, so remote, rural, regional, obviously the metropolitan areas in the other states. We have a significant population of rural Victorians, and then naturally we have a hardcore of fabulous Melburnians that live at the college. So it is really a very widespread. We're also diverse across SES, Indigenous, and other diverse groups.
Thanks so much. Quick question about the tutorials. Do we get any one-to-one type of setup for tutorials or consultations?
So we have a tutorial program where people from the same subject are actually taking part in small groups up to 10 to 12. And then for each of those people, they can have up to two consultations, which is one-on-one with that tutor for you. So when you're heading into your assessments, you're able to have a one-on-one session.
Incredible. I think that's just about it. And I just left a note to say that if we haven't covered any of your questions today, sorry, but we are available by email. Come to the Trinity website. As Leonie said, we've got videos on there, frequently asked questions, sections about all the questions you may have. That's all for me, Leonie. Thanks.
And everybody have a wonderful rest of the year. I hope you can all work really hard, do well in your exams by working hard, because your university life will seriously be, put your thumbs up, Emilia and Lachie, it will seriously be the best time in your life, and a college experience along with that university is absolutely where you should be aiming. So best of luck for the year, and we do hope to see you here.
Big thanks to Lachie and Emilia.